Hey, Ed here from 10,000 Foot View, and I've got another quick Google Ads tip for you today. So today I'm going to talk about ad variations. It's a tool in Google Ads that is very underutilized in my opinion, and I'm going to explain kind of how it works and how it's going to help you with your RSAs. So, if you've been working with RSAs for a while and you're trying to optimize them, you've come to the realization that there's not a lot of KPI data that Google provides outside of relative performance grade, which is here, and the number of impressions served. So you can get some idea of what Google thinks is working based on the number of impressions served. And this is assuming, of course, that all of these headlines and descriptions were created at the same time, which also can lead to some confusion. But the nice thing is we have this tool called ad variation testing, and it allows you to test creatives at scale along with other things. And I'm going to show you how that works today. So basically, I'm looking at a single RSA. And instead of this, I want to look at all of the assets at once. And so if you tend to reuse headlines and descriptions across an entire account or even just a single campaign, what this display gives you is the performance in aggregate, right? So you can see here I have in some cases 14 ads running the same headline. And so the nice thing about this is it gives you kind of at scale a much better understanding of overall performance of a given asset. And they also give you, a little more detailed breakdown, so low, good, and best in terms of the overall performance of a particular headline or description, and just a little more detail around, learning mode versus unrated, and again, the impressions. But basically, what we want to do is identify in here a particular piece of creative that we want to try replacing because perhaps it's low performing, or a good piece of content or creative that we want to split test against an ad variation, right? So similar feature, benefit, or offer, but rephrasing it in a different way. So how do we do that? So first we identify the piece of creative we want to test, right? And we'll use this one here, and we copy that, and then we're going to go to the ad variations tab, and I always just search for it. I find it's easier to get there. And this shows us a list of ad variations that we've tested in the past and gives us the ability to create a new one. So we're going to go ahead and create a new one. And we're going to choose all campaigns, and we're not going to filter the ads. Um, Sorry, we're going to filter the ads. We're going to select headlines that match what I've just selected. We're going to continue that. And then in find text, we're going to use that same copy again. And then we're going to change it to something else. So instead of that, we're going to use something different. And I'm not indicating what this is for the purposes of the video because obviously I'm not going to disclose client proprietary information. Anyway, so we go ahead and we hit continue, and then we have the ability to set the start date, and I almost always start it today, like right away. A variation name, what I'll typically do for headlines is I'll just put in the first headline, and I'll put verses and then the new variation. If it's descriptions, you can't actually do that because you don't have enough characters, so you have to be a bit more creative about the description. And then you have an end date, and I usually just set the default, which is run for a month. After a month, if you just let it continue, it'll just basically time out and then stop running. And then the last thing you can do is set the experiment split amount. So if you set it 50%, obviously half of the ads will have the original version and half of the ads will have the new version. If you're a little concerned that this might degrade performance, this experiment, you could set it to a lower number, like 25%. You just have to be a bit careful. If you set it too low, or if you're only running a few ads, or if your ad spend's low, you just may not get a result at all. That said, once you're ready to go, you just create variation. I'm not going to do that here because I don't want this test to go live. Um, Most importantly, what the ad variations are going to give you is KPIs around conversions, right? So instead of just seeing impressions, Google is going to show you between the two ad variations what your click-through rate is, your cost per click, your cost, your conversions, your cost per conversion. You can add some other data points in here, such as if you're selling, then you could put in your revenue and your ROAS figures. So this is kind of old school. You're now able to actually see what the conversion performance is like for one variation versus the other. And then apply those experiments that are effective and stop the ones that aren't, or just let them expire. And that's ad variations in a nutshell. I hope this brings your ads to the next level and boosts your performance.